Point of order. Ada
I
Fisher.
noticed this, I noticed that some people are taping this, and I don't know whether these videos should be taped because we'll see them on YouTube and places that we don't need to see them. And I think people should have the right to see freely, and the taping is being made.
You're out of order. Dr. Fisher is an open press meeting. Mrs. Nichols.
There has been an enormous outrage over certain things which happened at the Tampa Convention, and which were evidenced by the enormous opposition to the adoption of the rules by the convention, the rules that were reported by the Convention Rules Committee. There is, and every person in this room is aware of it, still an enormous unrest over this. In my judgment, I am frank to say that it was a power grab. I think a clear break, a clear repudiation of what was done there is important. Many people have described what was happening as an outrage. It's been described as a travesty. There's hardly a negative term that hasn't been described, that hasn't been used to describe this. And we have the opportunity to pass this resolution, and then, after we have passed it, those elements of the rules which were changed, which are not objectionable, can easily be added onto the rules, so we do not lose any of the good work of the Convention Rules Committee. But I think we need a clear demonstration to the grassroots people we want in our party that we are not in favor of concentrating power. We want power to flow from the bottom up.
In North Carolina, I have received approximately 200 emails, and 90% of them were against what we just did and in favor of Mr. Blackwell.
Thank you, Mr. Blackwell. We're now going to immediately go to a record vote by the Secretary of the party. And a yes vote would support Mr. Blackwell's amendments, and a nay vote would vote against them at this time.
Alabama, Vicki Drummond. Yes. Alaska, Ralph Seegan. New York, Jennifer Rich.
Roxy, no.
North Carolina, Ada Bishop. Thank you, Ada. North Dakota, Curly Boswell.
Yes.
The results are yes, 25, no, 28. Yes, 25, no, 28. Motion fails.
North Carolina, Ada Bishop. Thank you, Ada.
Now recognize Dr. Ada Fisher of North Carolina.
Mr. Chairman, as I said, I was very reluctant to cast the vote as I did, and I would like to move for the agenda that we put on each agenda the discussion of each rule and look at the trouble. And since we only have so many in an election cycle, I would suggest we take these first 12 rules as the first order of business in the next meeting to look at. The second meeting after that, to take Rule 13 through 25, and a third reading, Rule 26 through 42. That follows the logical order that you have. But it would be a disservice for us to not discuss these rules because there's so much confusion.
Thank you, Dr. Fisher. The chair takes that under advisement, and I can tell you that we're already going in that direction. Chair recognizes Jeff Johnson.
It is a very open party. We really are. Even almost the worst of the states. But in some of the states where they put up barriers, then get involved and figure out a way, learn the rules, and figure out a way to displace those folks that are barriers to grassroots participation. Get rid of them. They're no good to anybody. They're usually in there for personal benefit, personal gain, and they should take that back home and report that back to your constituent groups in every state and tell them to take an interest in what their committee people do. Understand this, that there's only 168 of us that are members of the Republican National Committee. There's 3 from each state, plus the territories. Those 168 people are the ones that govern this party. We are the Congress and the Senate combined of the Republican Party of the United States.